I don't see anything wrong with these statements, to be honest. What kind of evidence do we have? Oh, of course, the evacuation drill. 10 p.m. take 20 minutes. Yeah, of course. So the crewman couldn't have been outside the door all the time.
Objection!
Completely forgot about that. Yes, as the court has heard, there was a crewman posted outside Judge Jigoku's cabin. However, we can be sure that contrary to the witness's claim, the guard wasn't there at all times. What? I have here a notice of a particular event that was scheduled to take place aboard a steamship on the 31st. Where did you get that? It's evidence gathered by Mr. Sherlock Holmes. You were acquainted yesterday, if you remember. Sherlock Holmes again? According to this itinerary, after leaving the port of Dunkirk at exactly 10 p.m. and for a period of 20 minutes, all crewmen of the SS Grouse were to gather on deck for an evacuation drill. All crewmen were away from their posts, and during their 20-minute interval, of course, any gunshots emanating from your cabin would have been heard by no one. In summary, Judge Jigoku, you had ample opportunity to commit the crime.
Objection!
A 20-minute window of opportunity. That's an excellent find, Ryunosuke. Then why did you object to it? But it amounts to nothing. Why? Because the witness clearly stated in his testimony that no incident occurred in his cabin. Yeah, he's lying though. Unless you have some decisive evidence that can show his testimony to be false. Your accusation is nothing more than conjecture. The bullet hole? Okay, a flimsy one. Very true. Well, counsel. Inspector Gregson was killed in Judge Jigoku's cabin that night, I'm certain of it. Because the defense has the evidence to prove it. What? The small component? Yeah, it's... I mean, we already know that Inspector Gregson was there. You will present the evidence for the defense at once, counsel. What proof do you have that the victim's life was taken in Jigoku's cabin on the 31st of October? This is no proof of that. Is it? I mean, that's the only other proof I got.
Take that!
Judge Jigoku, this was found in your cabin yesterday. What is that? The crown of a pocket watch? A pocket watch? And if you will observe, the victim's pocket watch, which we know he treasured, is missing precisely that part. It can't be. Moreover, this crown is a perfect fit on the spindle protruding from the victim's watch. Now, the fact that this was retrieved from Judge Jigoku's cabin tells us that the victim's watch almost certainly broke there. In other words, the victim was killed on the 31st during the 20-minute evacuation drill. Wait, this is quite a jump in logic here. I mean, it only proves that the victim was there and somehow broke the pocket watch. For whatever reason. But if we assume that the cabin occupied by you, Judge Jigoku, if we assume the clock broke whenever he was killed, then yeah, this is correct.
Well, you're razor sharp, aren't you, you young murderer?
Don't call me murderer, what the heck is wrong with you?
Objection!
Expertly maneuvered, Ryunosuke. Why do you keep saying that? Oh, well done, Ryunosuke, but... Why do I feel like there's a but coming? But, you're stupid. And your argument sounds entirely plausible. At first. But rather like this pocket watch, it's full of cracks. Okay, you don't need to say it like that. We're friends, aren't we? No, I mean, I haven't told you yet that we're not friends anymore, so I'm still a friend in your head, right? So why are you doing this to me? What? And I believe Judge Jigoku feels the same way.
I was wrong to acquit you earlier in the year.
Sorry?
If I'd known that it would result in anyone having to listen to this drivel, I would have declared you guilty just to spare the world your ridiculous bombast.
Holy crap. How did he turn evil all of a sudden? So evil. I think it's clear that the witness will have to give further testimony.
When you hear what actually happened in my cabin that night, you will notice the pitfall into which you stumbled.
Prior to your renewed testimony, I would like to clarify one point. The fact that this part of the victim's watch was discovered in your cabin means that you acknowledge he was there, I presume. I mean, no one denied that he wasn't there, that he was there, right?
Yes, I do.
Very well, then. You may proceed to give your formal testimony about what exactly happened in your cabin.
Of course, as a man of the law, I have no intention of obstructing justice.
And yet you would find me guilty, an innocent man?
I had a guest waiting for me when I returned to my cabin after finishing my evening meal in the dining room. When I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there foolishly waving a gun at me. I soon took care of him with an what the heck? Ipponseoi?
That doesn't sound Japanese at all. Seoi.
Ipponseoi throw, though. He couldn't wait to run away after that.
Hold on. Is this a Japanese word? Is it? It is. Seoi. Seoi. Seoi nage. A judo move. A shoulder throw.
I imagine his watch was broken. His watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. It has nothing to do with his murder. The inspector was clearly killed having returned to Britain because his body was found in London.
Ipponseoi?
A common jujutsu martial arts technique in my country. I was careful not to use too much force, but the man obviously landed too heavily for his watch to take.
So, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I imagine you can see the flaw in your logic now, can't you? What? The fact that the pocket watch was broken is in no way proves that the victim's murder took place there. Yeah, that's what I've been dreading.
I've no doubt the inspector intended to kill me, but he didn't manage to pull the trigger.
Yes, because he was merely the tactician, not the Reaper's hand of death. Well, the testimony appears to make perfect sense as far as I can tell. The tactician, yeah, that's what Baruch van Zieks was also saying.
Let me express my deep gratitude for your understanding, my lord.
But if this testimony holds, Judge Jigoku would be deemed to have had no involvement in the case. Well, counsel, I really see no reason for wasting precious court time here on a cross-examination. Sorry, my lord, the defense has a right to cross-examine, and I don't intend to squander that.
You're an embarrassment to your countrymen, not knowing when you're beaten.
Now, let the personal insults be, please. In that case, proceed, Mr. Naruhodo. You had a guest. He was waving a gun at you?
Hold it!
Obviously, you're talking about Inspector Gregson.
Yes, though at the time I didn't know the man's name, and there was no time for introductions. I value my life over manners.
By which you mean that the inspector was there to assassinate you, I suppose.
That was certainly the impression given by the gun pointing in my direction, but I've never seen the muzzle of a revolver shake about so much in all my life. Anyone would think the man had never shot somebody before.
Again, it begs the question, why was Kazuma with Gregson? If Gregson wanted to kill someone, why would he take Kazuma of all people? Believe it or not, most of us haven't.
Anyway, there was no time to call for the help of the crewman at the door, so I dealt with the man myself.
Okay. Oh, he ran away?
Hold it!
Even though the man had a gun, that was a very brave move, wasn't it?
My impulse theory is far faster than a bullet, I can assure you.
I don't think so. But surely all that commotion caused the crewman to come in, didn't it?
Yes, of course. He burst in immediately without knocking. The inspector hurled himself at the stocky fellow and just managed to slip past him to make his escape.
The outstanding guard does it again.
Luckily, there aren't many situations I can't get out of using a quick Ippon Seoi throw.
Was clearly killed having returned to Britain because his body was found in London.
Hold it!
But there's no evidence that proves the victim ever returned to London alive.
Just take a moment to think that idea of yours too, now, stripling.
What?
If the inspector was killed on a steamship in France, how on earth could he have got back to Britain? When people die, their bodies remain at the same spot. It's a devil of a thing.
Well, then obviously the culprit must have moved the body.
How exactly? Carrying a corpse off a ship in your arms would raise a few eyebrows at least, don't you think?
This is very true. Well, yes, but... all passenger luggage is inspected when it is unloaded from arriving vessels. Wait a minute. But... Jigoku has a big luggage case. It even fits one man. He himself has proved that. Right? Has proven it? By hiding himself in that luggage. And also he's the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Japan, so maybe his luggage wouldn't have been inspected? Would not have been inspected? And I would like to think the border police would query the corpse of an English gentleman as hand luggage. If the murder had taken place aboard a ship, you would imagine the body would have been disposed of at sea. There would be no sense in risking being caught by attempting to transport a body back to Britain. That is also true. Why would somebody go so far to bring back the body? Huh. Ha ha ha. Let's kill that idea then. But perhaps not. Mr. Sato? We've heard that the cursed class passengers were under constant scrutiny by the crewmen posted to guard them, which would mean that the culprit had no opportunity to dispose of the body in the sea. Yes, that's true. So transporting the body to Britain may have been the only viable alternative.
Dear me, you really are new to this, aren't you?
Eh?
I thought I'd been perfectly clear, but it seems I'm going to have to explain it in words you can understand. I think I ought to alter my testimony with your consent, of course, my lord.
I have no objection. State your amended testimony now.
There's no possible way I could have transported
The victim's corpse back to Britain. Okay, that's clearly a contradiction there. Oh, we don't have his luggage case as evidence, though.
Hold it!
There's an idea.
Think about it, stripling. All passengers and crew disembarked at the same time and passed through the same checks at the border. The symposium guests were then driven straight to the hotel in carriages organized by the ministry.
And we met you as soon as you arrived at the hotel.
So you did. Well then, remind me, did I have a corpse over my shoulder at the time?
What? No.
So we're in agreement then. I couldn't possibly have brought the inspector's body back to Britain. Unless of course they've developed some clever device these days to instantly move things from A to B.
Funny you should say that. Professor Hairbrain's invention didn't actually work, if you remember, Mr. Naruhodo. Did you just read my mind? Yes, of course. The defense has become unusually quiet, I notice.
Yes, because there's really nothing more to say.
So that's his story. Well, I suppose if you think about it, whenever you drop a teacup in the office and it breaks, we don't say Mr. Naruhodo must have been murdered there, do we? Huh? Is that a weird threat about what might happen to me if I break another one? And the fact is that Inspector Gregson's body was found in a little room on Fresno Street. If he really was killed in Judge Jikuka's cabin, the body would have to have been moved somehow, obviously. Transporting a dead body over a country border, that would be impossible for the majority of people. So there must have been some special circumstances that made it possible. That could be a vital realization, I think. Yes, I know, but how do I present this? There's no possible way, but there is. Do I present this photo because the luggage is in here? What, really?
Objection!
There's no possible way you could have moved Inspector Gregson's body, you say? I would say the opposite is true.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Far from being impossible for you to do, the transporting of Inspector Gregson's body back to Britain is something only you could do. What are you talking about, Ryunosuke? As well as being a judge, Mr. Jigoku is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Which means he's exempt from having his luggage searched when he enters the country? We learned that when we first met you upon your arrival in London.
Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Oh, I knew you were jealous.
I presume you record this, Judge Jigoku? It's a photograph we took in the foyer of the hotel to mark the occasion. As the court will note, you have with you your large travel trunk. Large enough, in fact, to have a corpse inside. Mr. Naruhodo, surely you're not suggesting... I'm afraid I am, yes. 3 days ago, when we were chatting innocently with the new arrivals from Japan in the hotel, the body of Inspector Gregson was just meters away from us, inside Judge Jigoku's trunk. Order in court. I'm skeptical, counsel, that a grown man's body could fit inside even the largest travel trunk. It could. Because I happen to know that the witness himself, a man of considerable size, fits inside his trunk. Yeah, I still can't believe that, to be honest. And verifying that would be extremely simple, wouldn't it, Judge Jigoku? But inside his trunk, how horrifying! But... oh, wait a moment. Jigoku could only fit inside his trunk by... taking out all of his clothes and stuff from it, right? For Gregson, he didn't do that, right? But I'm not the one questioning my theory. And after we'd spoken with you at the Great Waterloo Hotel, you had the opportunity to visit the apparent scene on Fresno Street. Taking your trunk with you in a cab and deposit the inspector's body.
I don't have to listen to this nonsense.
Dr. Gorey, the coroner who examined the body, has confirmed the possibility. She's acknowledged there are signs that steps may have been taken to disguise the true time of death. The onset of the body's decomposition could have been delayed by storing it in a refrigerator. Counsel, as I remember explaining yesterday, refrigerators of the requisite size are few and far between. Yes, I'm sure they are, but one place they're certainly found is on large ocean liners. Hold on, but if he stored the body inside one of the refrigerators on the steamship, wouldn't that be very suspicious? I mean, the fridges are being used, right, on the steamship? But okay, I'm not the one questioning my theory here. Such ships are equipped with electrically refrigerated cold rooms to keep food fresh on their long sea voyages, and the SS Grouse is no exception. Professor Mikotoba told me about it only yesterday. Well, Judge Jigoku? However much you prolong this debate, you can't eliminate the truth. All the evidence points to you being the killer. That's actually wrong again. I mean, first of all, we don't have evidence. Okay, we have the evidence that proves that he could have brought the body back to London from the steamship. Could have. But we do not have proof that he actually did it.
Well, this is all very heartening. I can see that it was a wise move letting Azuki and you embark on the study tour.
What are you talking about now?
Logical reasoning, of course. All court proceedings will be built on logical reasoning in the new century. And I can see that you've both laid firm foundations for that already.
Judge Shigaku, please stop diverting attention from the issue at hand. Thank you, Susato-san. The defense has made an accusation against you. How do you respond?
Respond? There's really no need for me to respond, is there?
Why ever not?
Because before you can even begin to answer the question of when the victim was killed, you must first establish one key fact. Where was the victim killed? It's quite logical.
The actual scene of the crime. The prosecution's stance is unaltered. The killing took place on Fresno Street when the gunshot was heard. As the accused, Barak van Zieks, shot the victim at point-blank range. Since no tangible evidence exists to disprove the prosecution's claim at this time, the defense's deductions amount to little more than an elaborate fairy tale. Unfortunately, he's right.
I'm afraid that's how the logical reasoning the British are known for really works, young stripling.
The victim was shot in that little room on Fresno Street and died instantly. I'm afraid it's the prosecution's claim. That's the only fairy tale here. Oh, okay. How can you say that? Quite simply, because that claim directly contradicts a certain piece of evidence in our possession. What? If it does, why didn't we present it sooner? What? What evidence? What? Figurine? No. I have no idea. Very tantalizing, counsel. I think you had better explain yourself to the court, don't you? The prosecution claims that Inspector Gregson died instantly when he was shot at a scene on Fresno Street. Yes. But this evidence clearly contradicts that claim.
Take that!
Oh wait! Oops, that was that was a misclick. No. No. Perhaps my Japanese friend's inexplicable thinking is why people talk of the mystique of the East. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm not the only Japanese around here. Do you even have a mirror? The court is not interested in any of that. Whoop. I misclicked! Why was the victim killed in a room on Fresno Street, or was he moved there after his death? There's one piece of evidence we have that shows the answer. Perhaps you should try to present the correct one this time then, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you going to try again? No, I wanted to press history. I mispressed. The prosecution claims that Inspector Gregson died instantly when he was shot at the scene. Oh god, I better save. Right, I better save. I have no idea what they're talking about. He died instantly. I mean, the story that Judge Jigoku told us is that Gregson was there, but then he fled and returned to Fresno Street. Huh. I have no idea. About this key, what was it used for again? To open the watch, right? And what happens if we do that? Yeah, that's the key. Oh, wait, what happens again if we put in the key? I forgot. Something happened, right? And what about the slash? Kazuma still hasn't explained this one. There's blood. Why do I have Azuki's sword? There's one piece of evidence we have that shows the answer to that question. Which question? Was the victim killed in the room on Fresno Street, or was he moved there after his death? We have evidence that shows that he was moved there. Really? Why didn't we show it earlier then? Oh, because of the fetal position he was in? The fetal position.
Take that!
A photograph of the victim in the very location you claim he wasn't killed? Yes, but the point is the posture of the body itself. If Inspector Gregson had been shot there in that room, it's out of the question that his body would have been curled up in a ball like that.
Objection! I'm sorry to disappoint you, but your logic is flawed. He could easily have adopted that photo position due to the pain of the shot, which subsequently proved fatal.
Objection!
No, he died instantly. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Judge Shigoku, but it's your logic that is flawed.
What?
According to this autopsy report, the victim died instantly. He would have felt no pain, much less have been able to draw himself into that position.
Oh!
Which begs the question of why the victim's body was curled up in that way? Though the answer should be abundantly clear by now. You're suggesting... The inspector's body took on that posture ahead of its arrival on Fresno Street, before it was coldly turned out on the floor, from the inside of a large travel trunk. No. You're quite right. The shape of the body, it looks exactly as if it had been kept in a confined space. Holy crap, that is evidence. That is evidence. And of course we couldn't have presented earlier because we didn't know about the travel trunk yet. Genius. Judge Shigoku, present your trunk for examination. I believe it's very possible that it will contain traces of the victim's blood.
Ah! Present my trunk, I refuse.
What? On what grounds?
I'm the Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Empire of Japan. I shouldn't have to put up with this treatment just because of some stripling's baseless accusations.
In other words, Judge Shigoku, there's blood in your trunk. No, that's not how... this is not how law works.
I decline to answer that. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have privileges that allow me to...
At this moment, you're not a government minister. You are a witness in a trial in Britain's highest court. I don't care who you are or what your status outside this courtroom might be, you will not withhold information. Wow! Me finally showing some backbone here. Nothing is more important than the truth. Order! Order in the court. Well, Mr. Jigoku, what's it to be? You can't be serious. You did it? Customer jumping to conclusions.
Have you no shame at all, Kazuma Azuki?
What? Don't shift the blame here.
Very well, I admit it.
Okay.
I did bring the inspector's body into the country.
Okay, wow.
Inside my trunk, exactly as postulated.
What? You... Dear God, outrageous. So it was you. You admit to being...
No, I admit to nothing more than what I've said. Of killing the man, I certainly have no recollection.
What on earth is this cryptic statement supposed to mean?
I merely disposed of the inspector's body, which was left in my cabin, in order to avoid unwanted attention. As the judicial assistant over there pointed out, I had no chance to throw it into the ocean. So, I decided my only option was to bring it into Britain with me and dispose of it somewhere else.
You can't still deny it. If you didn't do it, then who on earth did kill the man?
As you know, there was one other person in my cabin that night. He had the opportunity.
Whoever it is, it wasn't Baroque van Zieks, right? Case closed. Lord Strongheart, you can adjudicate.
And moreover, he'd already accepted a mission to take the inspector's life.
This all doesn't matter. What matters here is that Baroque van Zieks is innocent of this crime. Oh.
That's right. Who else could it have been? It was you, Kazuma Azuki.
You. I never thought you'd stoop to this, Seishiro Jigoku.
You've taken the words straight out of my mouth, Prosecutor Kazuma Azuki. You thought by leaving the body in my cabin you could pin the crime on me, did you?
Well, the prosecution counsel has already admitted to visiting the witness's cabin on the night in question.
Yes, on an assassination mission no less.
Why was he there in the first place, Kazuma? Please! Please! You wouldn't.
So, what do you make of that, young stripling? You've heard my testimony now, and that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll admit to nothing more.
I don't believe this. Counsel for the defense, what is your position now? The court awaits your response to the witness's assertion. The assertion that on the night in question, the victim's assailant was in fact Mr. Kazuma Azuki. I don't care about this! Honestly, I don't care. I mean, yeah, it sounds right, but let's decide this or in another trial, right? What is even happening? This isn't the dead end it seems to be. The answer's right in front of me. It comes down to Jigoku or Kazuma. Both of them had the opportunity to kill Gregson, but only one of them did it. And I'm just a step away from proving who. Very well, the defense is ready to respond to the assertion put forward by Judge Jigoku. The idea the victim's murder could have been committed by Prosecutor Azuki is... What? Why do I get a penalty point for that? I mean, I really don't care, right? I mean, personally, I don't think Kazuma killed it, but what I think is irrelevant now because I don't even know him anymore. Fact is, there's a splinter of his sword in the case. I mean, where would Kazuma get a gun even? If Kazuma were to assassinate Gregson, he clearly would have used his sword, right? Unless he doesn't want to sully Karuma's edge with some blood. Which is completely understandable. If I say it's impossible, then I need to have evidence, right? I would like to say it is impossible. I mean, why would I even... I could say it's possible and I'm still fine because all I care about in this trial is Baroque van Zieks. Kazuma. No, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. It's possible. Well, it is possible, my lord. How could you? No. blame it all on me. You're the one who accepted an assassination mission. You're the one who went to the SS Grouse. Yeah, don't pin it on me. I don't have evidence to get you out of this. Do you think I want to believe it? But the fact is, I can't say with complete certainty what actually happened, because I wasn't there. You disappoint me, Ryunosuke. No, you don't get to say that. You don't get to say that. You disappoint me, Kazuma. If I may, Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps that's why we form opinions based on evidence. Ah, so true. And actually, we have evidence that can settle this argument conclusively. Wait, what? My lord, the defense would like to present evidence in support of... Before you plow on, feigning ignorance of what just occurred, counsel. You must be penalized for that short but embarrassing you uttered a moment ago. Why? I really thought I could just brush past it if I was quick enough. Never mind the penalty, Mr. Naruhodo. The truth is all that matters.